Welcome to this session on how to administer Practice IQ. We'll be covering the PIQ Admin Tool, previously called the AW Update Tool, and this allows you to access the PM system and the attributes to be brought across to the data warehouse for reporting purposes. We're also going to have a look at the PIQ Portal Tool that allows you to assign rights to the intranet site and to specific reports and sections. We'll have a look at the intranet site itself and some of the admin options available, and also where to check the build status of the PIQ solution in the background. So some of the outcomes we're after. Well, first of all, one outcome would be to know how to administer access rights to the intranet site and the reports held there. Know how to go and grab attributes from the PM system and bring them across into the PIQ solution for reporting. On the intranet site, the ability to impersonate a user to see what they have access to. We'll also have a look at how to actually change the structure of the intranet site using the files and folders underneath and the PIQ Portal Tool to switch those on. We'll also, again as we saw on the previous slide, the ability to check the build status for IQ. So without any further ado, we'll get on with the demo. First of all, let's have a look at the PIQ Admin Tool, as stated before, previously known as the AW Update Tool. Just to double click on the executable, we'll fire up the tool. It's now connecting to the practice management database and building a series of lists based on the attribute system. We have a series of tabs along the top which constitute the different sets of attributes that we can use. Hitting the table button here, or the fields button there, it'll bring up all the attributes that have been taken across into the data warehouse and building the table structures for the data warehouse. If you have a new attribute that you require to take across, you can simply drag and drop across there. Make sure you hit the save button. You go through the different attributes, doing exactly the same thing, hitting the fields button there, seeing the attributes available, dragging and dropping across. If you want to rename an attribute for any reason, you can simply right click on the properties table or tab and change the name there. The main attributes we take across are clients, matters and fairness, but we do have entities, standard matters, as we've seen, the disbursements, internal matters, and so on. From a PM point of view, the only attributes that can come across into the data warehouse for reporting are single instance attributes. Practice management does allow multi-instance attributes within its system, but these can't be taken across for the data warehouse itself. Make sure you hit the save button before closing out. And the next build of Practice IQ, any selections that you've made will automatically be taken across into the data warehouse table structures for you then to go further and build into your reporting, analysis services, cubes, and so on. So let's now take a look at the PIQ Portal Tool. Now this tool is specifically around giving access to staff members and groups of staff members to the PIQ intranet site. The first screen is a set of profiles and the users that have been imported in from the practice management system. In order to create a profile, it's just a matter of right-clicking on the profile, top level there, and go New Profile. This is called Test. To assign rights to a profile, you select the staff member down the side here and simply tick it. To add users from the practice management database, or you can type them in manually, you simply right click on the users folder and choose new user. Typing in manual details, you would need to know their practice management username and their Windows login name. To import a user, you just run through the wizard. You do need to know a server where the practice management database is housed. you would have to have rights or the SQL rights to log in to the practice management database and know the database itself. This hooks directly into the user table in the practice management database and allows you to then select the user you require and bring it in. Once in, you can select that user and apply the rights according to their level of access. Now, to assign rights to the intranet site and the reports in the intranet site, if you select a user group or profile and choose reports, this then reads the underlying structures and files and folders that make up the IQ site, and you can go through and apply rights or take off rights accordingly. It is possible to assign rights at a higher level simply by right-clicking on the folder and granting access or revoking access. The easiest way to assign rights is to a profile. It is possible to do it per user, but at that point it can become a little messy and hard to manage. The other screen you have here in the PIQ Portal Tool is the properties page for the site itself. Now, this gives you the virtual directory, so the URL to gain access to the intranet site, and also the physical location of the intranet site if you need to know that. So that sums up the basic usage of the PIQ Portal Tool to insert users, to assign them to profiles, and to assign rights to the intranet site. We're now going to have a look at the intranet site itself and some of the options available. We're also going to have a look at how to change the structures of the intranet site as we go through. So first of all, on the intranet site, there are a couple of admin options available to us. It is possible to, as an administrator, to impersonate another user in the system just to see what they have access to. As you can see, we're logged in as Kerry Grant now, who is deemed as an administrator, and you have the option to impersonate a user. That brings up a drop-down list. You can choose someone else, click OK, and it rebuilds the site based on their users, so you get their appreciation of what they get to see. In this case, we've only got one staff dashboard and a workflow section for Audrey Hepburn. Clicking the logo in the top corner there will refresh the site back to yourself, in this case Kerry Grant. Some of the other things we have, we've got a couple of forms in terms of administration. We've got our top 10 overall reports that are requested by the whole site. So you can get an idea of what reports are being used and which ones aren't. The other section here down at the bottom is the build stats for the data warehouse itself. This is a good place to come if you have any problems with the PIQ build. It'll tell you exactly which stage has failed. It allows you to page through the different sections here, and these are all the different steps in the data warehouse build. It would obviously say failed, and it gives you a good starting point for a support call and investigation into what's happening. So the site structures can be changed. Out of the box, you'll get a dashboard section and attacks if you need that type of reporting, workflow, and CRM. But if you don't like these naming conventions or structures, then it is possible to change them. There are certain rules around what can and can't be done. For example, the folder structure in the background and the menu structure needs to be 3 levels deep, but the namings of these and the number of them can change. So as an example, what we're going to do is just change the name of this CRM section to test and use the PIQ Portal Tool to refresh that. We'll start again with a fresh site and just knit to the Portal Tool to do this. Okay, so first things first, we'll go and change the actual name of the folder. Before I do that, actually, I'll just quickly scroll down. You can see the 3 levels I was talking about, and these are the actual reports that are built in the website. Just go back and back, back, and we'll rename this to test. We will then go to our Portal Tool which we saw before. We'll select an admin group, view and reports, and we'll hit the refresh button. You can see here that the folder now has been renamed to test, and the rights have gone because the structures have changed. In order to assign rights again, you can simply right click and grant access. Once that is done, we can hit refresh on our website, and we now have a test section, in this case showing the CRM reports. So if you have different naming conventions, or you have different groups, say for example departments in your firm that you might want different sections for within the intranet site, it's completely flexible around that. You can build your own world to fit your best requirements. So that's the intranet site and some of the admin options available to you. You have quick access to the top reports that are used. We've got some stats around build times and so on. You have the ability to change over and impersonate a user to see what they can see, and also the ability to change the site itself to fit requirements. So all that's left to do now is to snip back to the presentation, and we'll close off. I hope you found this session on administrating PIQ useful. If you'd like more information on this session or any other one, including anything else to do with the Rec and Training Academy, please use the information on screen now. Thank you.